Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, Dr. Haider Shah. On behalf of Kalwas, I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. Today we have another very interesting topic, and I'm really honored to welcome and introduce our distinguished guest speaker who is going to talk about research publication. Understanding editor's perspective. It is very important to see the publication from other perspective, which is editor perspective. How do editors see and evaluate the manuscript? How can we understand the perspective of editor in order to enhance the quality of manuscript for better research output? So you will get the best insights, right information, and knowledge regarding all these things as we have renowned professor and speaker with us in today this session. So stay tuned because in amazing stuff are coming ahead in this session. So before we start, I would like to thank Alwas for arranging such enlightenment sessions, for their support and providing us such a wonderful platform. The aim of Kalwas is to give you the opportunity to connect and interact with world-renowned speakers, teachers, academic leaders, authors, researchers, experts, professionals, and businessmen to share their views, experiences, and tips which will create an impact and will enable you to learn new things in order to grow and transform individually as well as to contribute to the world at large. As our slogan is come, learn, and share knowledge. So today we have a special and distinguished guest speaker. He is well-known personality in academia and industry. He has a vast experience. We always see him on different platforms while contributing to the field and world. Moreover, through his great knowledge and wisdom, people are getting the right guidance and knowledge. Above everything, he always extend helping hand and popular for sharing his knowledge. So let me introduce him formally. He is the CFHLA Preeminent Chair Professor within the Hospitality Services Department at the University of Central Florida's Rosen College of Hospitality Management. He joined the Rosen College in 2005. He was the founding chair of the Hospitality Service Department from 2007 to 2013. He received his PhD in strategic hotel management from Oxford Brookes University, UK. He has a Master of Science degree in international hotel management from Oxford Brookes University, UK, and a Bachelor of Science degree in hospitality and tourism from Çukurova University, Turkey. He worked in the hotel industry in various functional area and roles before becoming an educator. His teaching and consultancy area includes strategic management, leadership development, hotel lodging management, generational differences, cross-culture management, international hospitality management, and introduction to hospitality and tourism. His research area include competitive advantage, sustainability and green practices, the strategy implementation, knowledge management, hotel lodging management, crisis management, destination marketing, information technology, and developing countries. He has widely published in leading journals, including the Tourism Management, Annals of Tourism Research, Journal of Business Research, Service Industries Journal, Management Decision, International Journal of Hospitality Management, International Journal of Contemporary Hospitality Management, and Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Research. He has over 250 academic publications, over 150 peer-reviewed journals, article, 3 books, 12 books, chapters, and 90 conference presentation and reports. According to Google Scholar, his publication have received over 16,867 citations, and he has an H index of 61. He chaired and co-chaired and served on numerous PhD dissertation and master thesis committees. He secured competitive grants, contracts, and scholarship totaling in amount of $500,000. He is the editor-in-chief of the International Journal of Contemporary Hospitality Management, which has an impact factor of 6.51 and is one of the leading journal in the hospitality and tourism field. He is also the editor of the Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Insight. He serves on the editorial board of 26 international journals. He is a frequent speaker at international conferences. He is a visiting professor at Sen Yat-sen University Business School in China and visiting chair professor at the National the Koho Soing University of Hospitality and Tourism. Recognizing his contribution and accomplishment, he has received numerous highly prestigious awards and recognition, including the Michael D. Olson Research Award in 2016, the University of Central Florida Scroll and Quill Society Award in 2017, and the CFHLA Preeminent Chair Professor again in 2017, the John Wilson and Sons Lifetime Research Award from the ICHRIE in 2018. He was also recognized and honored for his accomplishment at the University of Central Florida's Board of Trustee recognition ceremony on November 19, 2018. Last but not least, he is a wonderful speaker, author, teacher, researcher, professional, a multi-talented person with a dynamic personality, and above everything, a great human being. So please help me in welcoming our guest, Professor Dr. FEVZI OKUMUS. Welcome to the Kalwas platform, and thank you very much for joining us, Prof.
Thank you very much for having me here on a Sunday. It is Sunday here at noon, and I'm sure in Pakistan it's evening, and you're getting ready for tomorrow. It's always nice to talk to friends from all around the world, especially from Pakistan. A couple of things. I'm no longer a visiting professor at Sun Yat-sen University in China. Also, I am not a visiting professor anymore with Kaohsiung in Taiwan, but I have some other appointments. Anyway, it's wonderful to be an academic and visit all those countries. And it's always wonderful to help junior researchers or researchers from all around the world, especially from developing countries. I was born in Turkey, did my undergraduate master's, first master's in Turkey, then I went to England with my second master's and PhD. So we all struggle, all of us, even native speakers, but publishing, if you are an academic in any university, one requirement is publishing. We struggle a lot with publishing, so it's our duty to help junior researchers.
Yes.
Before I start, I want to talk about a couple of things. One is two journals. I'm the guest editor. We should be more nurturing, supporting each other, but in many countries, I see that a lot of jealousy, backstabbing, and politics, which is really sad. So we should, implement research ethics, but also we should be good human beings in academia as well. All right, I stop here, and I'm happy to answer your questions. We have 15 minutes for questions and answers. And again, thank you for having me, inviting me to speak to colleagues from Pakistan and from all around the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof, for such a wonderful presentation and wonderful content, which you have explained very well. And I love the way you started it right from telling us about your team and how your baby journal has grown up and still it's growing. And why do we do a research? What are the latest topics? What are the reasons that the paper are rejected? What makes a good paper? And so what is very much important factor while publishing? You have emphasized it very nicely. And I love the part you talked about the ethics in the publication, that be honest, avoid the plagiarism, even self-plagiarism, and you will be caught someday. Very nice suggestion. And I love the way you explain that the researchers should be connected with the industry as well, and they should enjoy the teaching while collaborating with other work with the other people. And the same time, you have given a very wonderful message of team working, that you like team working, and it is the team actually which makes things much better. I would say that being co-author with the multiple people, we learn a lot, and this is the journey, very rightly you have mentioned, and we have to improve ourselves daily. I love your another point, which is the as a social scientist, we must come up with the solution. We should solve the problem for the industry, and we should contribute back to the society. And apart from that, Prof, I really love the way you give wonderful suggestion to our viewers around the globe regarding the how they can be honest, how they can be a good researcher, and above everything, a good human being. That being a good human is the actually starting point of everything. So really enjoyed, Prof, thoroughly the presentation and your life lessons which you have gathered with this such wonderful experiences from around the globe. I was really impressed, and I'm still very much impressed from by your personality, the way you work, the way you are connecting to the different people. Because I have seen you on different conferences, the way you give the keynote speech is so wonderful. Really, Prof, people like you are the leaders in the field, and we want to follow your footsteps, and we want to be like you. As I was telling you before the session, that's you are doing a great job, and every now and then we learn a lot from you, Prof. Thank you very much for covering such a wonderful, I would say, the checklist and everything, which answers so many questions. But still we have few questions, not few questions, but a lot of questions which are waiting for your confirmation and your recommendation. So we start with the first question, Prof, which is very much important, and they want to ask that, Prof, please clarify the role of cover letter to the editor. Since you have published numerous paper and you know the importance of the cover letter, so please tell us from the editor's perspective that there is a general perception that editor just reject the paper just because on the cover letter. Is it true, or please share your experiences?
Uh, I can give you two answers. One is a political answer. One is my own honest how I practice. Okay.
Wonderful, Prof.
My humble suggestion is write a good cover letter highlighting what is important related to your paper, how it contributes. Just very clear, professional letter. Okay, that will prevent may prevent your paper being desk rejected. I suggest you submit a cover letter. Okay, but how I practice with my both journals, because we receive 1,500 submissions for one paper, one journal, IJCHM. Now 374 so far with JHDI. So it makes close to 2,000 submissions. And if I read every cover letter, if I read every submission, I will not sleep and I cannot do anything. So because I have experience, and whenever there is a new submission, our editorial team, senior associate editors or assistant editors, they read cover letter, but 90% they look at the paper itself, look at the title, look at the abstract, go through the paper, look at the references, and also the formatting issues, and they specifically look at the conclusions and implications, plus methodology. All right. So they do an initial formatting review plus a review of the paper itself. Even if you promise the world curing cancer in your cover letter, if your paper is not delivering that, if your paper, the manuscript itself has major issues, your cover letter will not save you. But if your paper is good and you have a good cover letter, nicely written, and we are okay to move it to the next stage. But what is happening with cover letters? Some authors have a template, and they use it for every paper, every submission. And then sometimes we get cover letters addressing me, dear Professor APZAM or Professor Manuel Rivera, I'm submitting this paper to Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Research. And I'm like, I'm not Professor Rivera, and my journal is not Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Research, and they didn't do their homework. And Manuel Rivera is not the editor of Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Research. So they just, whenever I see that, I say, oh, they are like faking it. They are not really honest, okay? Yeah. So take your time, write a good cover letter, but number one reason is just your paper itself is the most important thing, okay?
Yes.
Yes, it is, cover letter is important, but editors and associate editors look at the paper itself more. But submit a cover letter, definitely, a good one.
Yes.
But personally, I'm not reading every sentence of those cover letters. I just look at it and say, okay, nice one, move on. Okay.
Yes, Prof. Thank you very much for such
Two
an
answers,
elaborative answer.
one politically correct, one is just honest answer. Okay, go ahead.
And I love the way, Prof, you explain it very nicely that what should it be and what it actually is. And that's the wonderful part. And I love the way you explain it that some certain authors, they do it up the template and they send it everywhere. Yes, Prof, we always see these kind of things happen with the different authors because they kept on sending papers to the different journals. I love the way you are answering this question is so nice, Prof. The second question is, Prof, very much important, and they want your opinion. They say that, dear Prof, please guide us. Does your profile matters when you submit your paper to the journal as a researcher? Because the general notion is that the corresponding author profile matters a lot because the editor in chief, they would see who is sending the paper, and that is the most important thing. So please remove their doubts regarding the corresponding author importance, please.
I cannot talk for other editors. For us, because I'm from originally from Turkey, and I traveled internationally, and I have a passion for developing countries. I don't really care about the profile of the first author or the submitting author or corresponding author, or even if there is a famous professor in the editor in the authorship. I don't really care that much. We try to give everyone equal chance, and we try to send those papers to the reviewers, and we make decisions based on the reviewers' comments and our own evaluation. Even if, regardless of they are from where and who and gender, it doesn't matter. We give everyone equal chance. As long as the paper is okay, strong, and has potential, we will publish it. But if there are concerns about the literature review, the methodology, and then implications, I don't really care. I have rejected my best friend's papers and my best friends rejected my own papers. So even I rejected, leading authors' papers submitted to IJCHM and GHDI. So I cannot speak for other editors, but how we practice, it's all about the paper itself. Just as long as the paper has potential, we will move forward and try to publish it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then one
Yeah.
other thing is, we often see now we have started a new process during the review process. Some authors try to add a famous author or a new author to the paper, and now Emerald is investigating it, and they have to explain why they are adding a new author, how this new author has contributed, or all these things. So just be careful with these things as well. Just, the paper itself is more important than the corresponding author profile. Okay.
Yes, Prof. Thank you very much, Prof. And I really enjoy the way you are answering, and you have removed the doubt that it's not about the corresponding author, it's not about the profile of the author, it's all about the quality of the paper and the potential about the paper. That if it has the novelty and contribution and it has the impact, it will be accepted, no doubt about the profile of the authors. And very nicely, you have covered my second question, Prof, which was regarding the inclusion of the new author in the paper in between. Prof, the extension of that question was they want to ask that, Prof, sometimes we include one author based on their specialty, particularly in analysis and other perspective. So if we get the additional comments from the reviewer and which we don't know as an author how to carry out such analysis, so can we include in the new author in order to answer the reviewer questions, and we
Yes.
can include him as an author? What do you recommend, please?
Listen, sometimes you submit a paper and then you receive comments from the reviewers, from the editor, and you say, yes, I cannot handle this, I cannot revise this paper by myself, and you add a new co-author, and she or he will help you and improve the paper, fix the issue. I have no problem with this. We have no problem with this, as long as it is legitimate, it is relevant, it is sound, it is ethical. But what is happening, we notice many times, the paper is almost ready to be accepted, okay? And just final revision, final minor things, and suddenly we see 2 new co-authors are added to the paper. Perhaps they're friends, family members, I don't know. And then we say we are not willing to accept this adding new co-authors. Please justify. And there is no justification, because the paper doesn't need adding 2 new or 1 new co-author. It's all about being ethical and professional. When and why and how you're adding a new co-author. If it is legitimate, yes. For example, IJCHM's Scholar One account, now after you submit your paper, during that process, you cannot add a new co-author to the paper. You have to approach the editor, to the publisher, and justify, explain why you are adding a new co-author, right? So we need to investigate that. A lot of politics going on, in some cases, some unethical practices. An author means he or she is contributing to the study in a way, literature review, writing, data collection, implications, and it is proofreading is not contribution for your information. Okay? Proofreading of a paper or making very minor edits, changes is not a real contribution.
Yes, Prof. Thank you very much, Prof. And very nicely you have mentioned that sometimes it happens that when it is ready for a acceptance with the minor correction, only then people start adding the people. Yes, it is not the correct practice, and we should be avoiding it. Prof, one question which is very much important for the researcher's perspective, they want to ask that, Prof, how do you see the self-citation? Most of the time, when we get the comments from the reviewer, they give us a lot of different references that please include in your manuscript. So how do you see that thing? And secondly, if we have our own work regarding the same topic, can we do a self-citation? Is it ethical or not? Guide us, Prof, please.
First question is, if the reviewers' articles are relevant to your study and there is a room to cite those references, some of them, and that will enhance your study, do it. But if the reviewer is giving 10, 15 of her own articles to be cited and they are not relevant, you explain that you cited 1 or 2, but some of them are not relevant. And also you can say, because of the word limit of the article, you cannot add all those references. And then communicate directly with the editor, saying that these suggested references are not all of them are relevant and ethical to cite, and editors will accept that. In terms of your own self-citations, why you cite an article or a study? Because you want to strengthen your own statement, judgment, proposal, hypothesis, whatsoever. And if your own studies are supporting that, okay, it is ethical to cite your own work. But if you have 50 references in your article's reference list and 10 or 15 of them your own work, it is too much. Okay, it is your ego. So everything is there is a moderation. I think it's enough. There is a room to cite your own work if it is relevant and ethical, but don't overdo it. And the reviewers will notice that as well. And also, if you keep citing your own work, they say, oh, there are already enough publications in this area, so we don't need this work anymore. We don't need to publish. So it's
Yes.
again moderation. It's enough is enough, but don't overdo it. Just couple perhaps is fine, and as long as they are ethical and relevant.
Yes,
Okay.
Prof. Thank you very much, Prof, for such a elaborative
And
answer.
for your information, editors and reviewers can really see these things easily. It's just you are not the smartest person ever in this academia. There are smarter people than you in research. And if
Yes, Prof.
they don't, if editors and reviewers don't see it, and then your paper is published, and then later some others can notice it and then can report you saying there are lots of irrelevant citations, and then eventually your paper may be retracted. They may say, oh, you have done irrelevant citations, unethical analysis, and then they may put a notice on your article saying we noticed the following thing in this article. It's a lot of papers are retracted. It's also a bad mark on your brand image. And,
Yes, Prof.
and for all of us, our brand image is more important. Our branding is more important than your own articles. Okay.
Yes, Prof.
How
Thank you very much. Yeah.
you have.
I believe, yes, Prof. I believe that's a wonderful part of this answer that you have given the guidance regarding the post publication, that it might get noticed later on and it can be reattracted, and it will create and it will have a bad mark on your name, which is not good for our profile and for our personal branding. Very nicely you have mentioned. And Prof, as a researcher, I believe that the integrity and respect is everything for us, because people, they read and they cite your work. So you must have an integrity character, and you must follow the ethical practices while doing a research, because research job is a very noble, I would say, profession, and we should respect it very well. The way you are answering, Prof, is so wonderful, but because of the time limitation, so I have to ask the last question, Prof. That question is from my side. Prof, please tell us what keeps you motivated and so much engaged and dedicated towards field and contribution. Please share your secret with us.
My secret is I think some people are born to work, some people are born to enjoy life. Okay, I am personally internally motivated, which is not a good thing. I should perhaps have work-life balance more, but I enjoy working with, enjoy what I do basically. I enjoy doing research. I enjoy working with close, good friends. I enjoy publishing. I enjoy working on the journals and seeing them growing and establishing, like IJCHM has become one of the leading top journals in our field. When I took over, it was a secondary, almost unknown journal in the field. Now, not only in hospitality and tourism, but even the management field, it's highly ranked in terms of citations, downloads, and recognitions, and so forth. So I love what I do and I enjoy it. And then I think I am a workaholic, which is not a good thing. I'm internally motivated. That's why it keeps me going. So I should slow down gradually and enjoy life more and spend more time on things that I like. I love research, but perhaps there should be some hobbies as well. Scholars like me, we don't have many hobbies. The only hobby I have, I love traveling. I love walking every day, and I love food, but I cannot eat food anymore because of age and health reasons. So it's
Yes.
everyone is different. I think more internally motivated I am, and then I love doing research and working on the journals. Thank
Yes,
you.
Prof. But love the way you work, and I would say you are a passionate researcher, and that's why you have a lot of contribution back to the world and the field, which is great, which is very much visible, which is very much impactful, and that's why we are following you, and the way you are doing different wonderful jobs, Prof. That is the contribution back to the society, and you are solving the problem the way you are integrating the different industries, and the people from the industry, the way you go to the different conferences. Really, it's a wonderful job you are doing. No doubt it is the sacrificing of the personal life, but you have more dedicated towards the contribution to the field and work. Prof, really enjoyed this session with you. As you are very nice, humble person, and I loved to listen to you more. And the way you speak, the way you have the dedication, the work ethics, and all these things are so fabulous, Prof. We want to see you more flourishing, and we want to see you on more different platform to learn from you a lot. Prof, at the end of the session, we ask our each guest that what is your message to the world? So, Prof, what is your message to the world as a teacher, author, researcher, trainer, learner, professional, and educator? Yes, please.
I think more respect, more care and peace, and help our students and prepare them better for future. I think we have a lot of problems globally, not just in our field, but the whole world is concerning. Just all of us should be, I think, try to be better human beings and help each other. That will be my message, and then also enjoy what you do and work together. That will be my message. And I don't think my research has impacted much, but we are still trying and still working, all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. What a wonderful message you have given to the world. Be a good human, because once you are a good human, then you will become a good student, good researcher, and a contributing member back to the society. What a wonderful session it was with the Prof. Really great session. So learning experiences Prof shared with us. It was so learning session with you, Prof. At the end, I would say to the our audience that please follow our distinguished guest speaker through his research work, and you can email him for future learning and guidance. He is very generous and always ready to help the people. Moreover, powerful content and wonderful explanation with the Prof, which already he has elaborated and explained, will help you to learn and broaden your horizon towards understanding of research work and publication. So that's all we have time for today. Thank you once again, Professor Dr. FEVZI OKUMUS, and I would like to welcome our thank our audience who joined us. If you have any additional question about information shared today, please email us or connect to the speaker directly through his email or social media account. Thank you all for your support and liking our session. Stay tuned as many sessions are on the way. Please do not miss any session until